guys. How's it going?
Let's do it twice. Why not?
Well, we could if we wanted to, but
This is what happens when you don't have the professional button pusher.
I don't have all the professional buttons. I just got a mouse, man. It is what it is. Welcome to IFB, everybody. It's our sci-fi pop culture news and commentary broadcast. I'm New York Pete, and over there is the Tipsy Toaster, and over there is Chris Fian from the Empire City Garrison, the director of, what is it,
Charity.
Chris?
Charity officer.
Charity officer. Excellent. So welcome, everybody. We do a toast. Let's get the toast out of the way to the fans. Thanks for joining us, guys, here on IFB. It's Fans Fuel. So
I got a good one.
What is that? Save the Galaxy. Ooh, okay.
Parkway Brewing Company, right here in Roanoke, Virginia.
All right, you enjoy that, man. I know that
I
you
will.
earned it. You earned it. Yeah, you were working.
I definitely earned this one. 8.3% alcohol.
Okay.
That's 16 proof.
All right. Okay. Well, that's nothing. That's like water to you. But anyway,
that's right.
Just to the fans, Chris Fian, what do you got going there?
I just got Coke Zero. That's all I ever drink.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, let's toast to the fans. Fans fuel the fleet, guys. Thanks for joining us. So, Mr. Chris Fian, you have a Star Wars update for us.
So, yes, I did. No, unfortunately, Celebration is going on starting tomorrow.
Oh,
so we don't have a lot of brand new news, but we do have some exciting stuff on the horizon we do know about. And I can give you some exciting updates and some of the stuff we can expect from Celebration. First off, the big news is that in just about a week, we're going to have the new Andor Season 2. Now, as you know, I was not a huge fan of Andor. I thought it was a little meandering. I thought a couple episodes were one of those useless throwaway episodes. Great character development, but not a ton of action. From what it looks like from the previews that have been released for Andor, this looks much more in line with Rogue One. Looks like it's going to be off the hook. And they're doing a very unusual release schedule, which I don't think that they've done before for any of the Star Wars series. On April 23rd, they're releasing 3 episodes.
Oh.
Because the way this season is, the season's going to have 12 episodes. From what Tony Gilroy, the producer and writer of the show, has indicated, the season is broken up into about 4 parts, and each part is 3 episodes. So they decided, in a very strange move, that they're going to release the 3 episodes for each chapter every week for the next month.
No kidding.
So chapter 1 is going to debut April 23rd with episode 1, episode 2, and episode 3. Then chapter 2 on April 30th with episode 4, 5, and 6. Chapter 3 on May 7th with episodes 7, 8, and 9. And chapter 4 on May 14th with episodes 10, 11, and 12. And 12 will lead directly into Rogue One. So it's a very interesting release strategy. I don't think I've seen this before from any series. So we'll have to see if it's successful. But if what holds true to what his vision was, that this is going to be 4 major points during that period between Andor Season 1 and Rogue One, it may play out very interestingly. We already know that a lot of main cast members from Rogue One are coming back, including Alan Tudyk, who played the robot. So everybody's very excited about that. We don't know which chapter he'll start appearing in. Forrest Whitaker as Saw Gerrera is coming back.
Oh, wow.
And cool. Ben Mendelsohn as Orson Krennic. We'll see his lead up to getting the Death Star ready. That culminated in Rogue One, and then in, of course, Star Wars: A New Hope. So it's exciting, and I think it's going to be a much more interesting, much more action-packed series. They just also released just this week a very short clip of Cassian Andor escaping from some Imperial facility in a advanced TIE fighter. That was very exciting. It was a little 3-minute clip of him escaping from that facility. And it looked very exciting. And if that's what we're going to see in this series, even if it's just 1 or 2 of the episodes in each chapter, it's going to be off the hook. It's going to be very exciting. And again, right in line with what people have been waiting for, something more along the lines of Rogue One, because that movie really resonated with a lot of fans. as being this is really the most Star Wars thing that's come out since the original Star Wars trilogy, because a lot of people were not crazy about the sequels. People like myself really thought a lot of the stuff in the prequels was a little cheesy, and Solo kind of fell flat, and a lot of the coming out really didn't resonate with fans. Rogue One seems to be across the board something that people resonated with, and let's hope that Andor pays off on that promise. There's also been some news about other series this year. Probably the only other thing we're going to see new for series-wise this year is going to be Star Wars Visions Season 3, which is a collection of short anime-style clips, little episodes that they have in the Star Wars universe. The first 2 seasons were very well received, so there is going to be a 3rd season that's going to be debuting sometime later this year. So we do have that to look forward to. A lot of news on the movie front, that the Grogu movie is practically in the can, leading a lot of folks to speculate that there's going to be at least a teaser or a preview of some kind at Celebration. So we'll have to see if that drops sometime between now and May the 4th. So that's been chugging right along. We had already mentioned that we heard that Jeremy White, Alan White from The Bear was going to be appearing in the movie. Sigourney Weaver is going to have a part in the movie. It's going to be exciting to see some of the big names they might get and some of the surprise actors that are going to appear in that movie. The other interesting tidbit that happened this week was Sean Levy, who we discussed this last week, who had done the Deadpool versus Wolverine movie, was very hot on doing a Star Wars movie, and his movie is being fast-tracked. His movie will probably come out before any of the other planned movies, the Dave Filoni movie, the Ray movie, before any of those movies. His movie's being fast-tracked. They know a hot thing, a commodity we see Lucasfilm, and from what we understand, they've been fast-tracking that movie at light speed. They already have Ryan Gosling attached, which I mentioned last week, that Ryan Gosling, interestingly, was the first choice to play Kylo Ren and ended up not getting the part. So it's interesting that Ryan Gosling is going to finally make it into the Star Wars universe, helming a very interesting Star Wars project that so far we know nothing about, except that he's attached and Sean Levy's directing. The big news this week was that an actress who just won the Academy Award, and I'm sorry, I'm completely blanking on her name. I'm going to have to quickly look it up. Mickey, does anybody know the girl's name from Anora? I'm totally blanking on her name.
Just ask Alexa.
I'm not going to ask Alexa. I'm going to find it. I have notes here that I jotted down. I'm going to find it somewhere. But Mickey, who was Mickey Madison, who was the lead in Anora, who won the Academy Award just this past March for the character of Anora. She did an incredible job. She's a young actress. She was in Scream. She was in a few. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's really a very new to Hollywood actress who's only been in a few movies, but she hit it huge with Anora. Won the Academy Award. She was being courted to be one of the leads in that movie, and unfortunately, we did hear this week that she turned it down. Maybe she didn't want to get typecast. She didn't want the curse of Star Wars on her repertoire in her filmography. But she did turn it down, and that was kind of disappointing because we had heard that she was in talks, and we did get the official word that she's apparently not going to be in the movie. So we don't know exactly what this movie is. We've heard some rumors that it takes place 5 or 6 years after Episode 9. So we really don't know anything else about this movie whatsoever. So everybody's eager to find out what exactly this movie is going to actually become. But we do know it's probably not going to be anything around the Skywalker saga. It's going to be its own standalone adventure that takes place in the Star Wars universe. So we're excited to see how that goes. Again, there hasn't been any other word on any of the other movies or any movie or any progress with any of the other movies. So we'll just have to wait and see. They might make some very surprise announcements at Celebration, and everybody's very waiting with bated breath to find out some of those announcements over the next few days. Which will probably hit the internet moments after they're announced. There are some other interesting developments that came up recently this week. As I mentioned, Kathleen Kennedy announced that she's going to be leaving Lucasfilm. She made it clear that she's not retiring from producing. She's just going to be parting ways or stepping down as the head of Lucasfilm. And there's been speculation that maybe it could be Dave Filoni, maybe it could be somebody else very closely connected to the Star Wars universe, like Jon Favreau. That remains to be seen, and they're expecting that she might make that announcement, or somebody might make that announcement, who her successor may be during celebrations. That's another big speculation that's been happening very recently. As I mentioned last time, Outlaws is pretty much at this point a dead game, which is very unfortunate. I did finally get a chance to play it, and it is a pretty solid game now with some of the updates and patches. It is kind of like a Grand Theft Auto in space, but it's just not a very large universe. Doesn't really hit. There's a lot of minutia that you got to go through before you hit any action. So I just don't think it hit with the fans, and it's really a shame that we don't have a real good Star Wars game on the horizon. There is one called Zero Company that was just announced last week that they're going to be having some more previews at Celebration about this weekend. But that's more of an RPG type game, or I'm sorry, a real-time strategy type game like XCOM. So it's like you're commanding a fleet and you're making decisions as to, who to attack and which ships to attack. So it's more of a turn-based game, not the kind of game that, I personally would be into. So we are getting that game, and it's coming out sometime later this year. But other than that, there's nothing else very exciting on the horizon for the Star Wars gaming aspect of Star Wars. Again, we might have some surprise announcements at Celebration. I made a list of some of the stuff that people are waiting to hear about. We have some of the members of the Empire City Garrison and other members of the 501st from around the globe all converging on Tokyo. So I'm going to get a lot of reports firsthand back from some of our members. But some of the things that people want to see is the trailer to Mandalorian, more about the Ahsoka 2 cast. They want to see more about any other animated series that might be on the horizon. As I mentioned, they're going to probably show more previews for Star Wars Visions Season 3. And also there's going to be more talk about, what's on the publishing front, what's on the toy front, what's on the horizon for Lucasfilm. They use Celebration as what they call in the TV industry their upfront presentation. They really go through everything Star Wars that's coming out over the next 6 months to a year. So we might see a lot more stuff coming out over the weekend, good and bad, relating to what's going to happen with Star Wars. There's also been a very, I'd say, pretty high-level rumor that they're going to show the Chapter 1 of Andor at a screening at Celebration. So we might get some early reactions from some diehard fans about what they think about the first few episodes of Andor. So I'm eager to find out what's going on with that. Really nothing else going on, except we're going to be eagerly awaiting word from Andor. We are eagerly anticipating also May the 4th. May the 4th has historically been a time when they also drop a lot of news and a lot of surprises and trailers and things of that nature around Star Wars. The May the 4th Be With You Day has become kind of a tradition with the 501st. I have to say it's the day that we get the most requests of any other day. Next to Halloween, Halloween's the second most. That period, the weekend of Halloween and the weekend probably leading up to Halloween, we get maybe about a dozen requests for various events. This year for May the 4th, we got no less than 19 requests for various events. And of course, we don't have enough members in the New York area to support them all. Some of the ones we will be supporting are the Chocolate Festival, Chocolate Expo at Hofstra University. We're going to be supporting the Yankee game. The Yankees are going to be playing a home game and having a Star Wars bobblehead. And that happened to fall on May the 4th. So it's going to be a supercharged Star Wars Yankee Day, Star Wars Day at Yankee Stadium, with a number of our members doing that. There's also a soccer game happening at Citi Field that some of our members are going to be participating in. My own daughter, her local library that she works at, is having an event. I'm going to be at her library supporting her event. And there's a few other libraries and a few other things that day that we're going to try to do our best to support. Just because we don't want to let these folks down, but they have to be realistic that we have so many requests and so many members to cover them that some unfortunately will not get covered. So just for future reference, May the 4th is a very tough weekend for the 501st. So if you're planning anything for your library or other charity event, please try to stay away from that day if at all possible, if you want to make sure that you get some characters at your event. But besides that, we also are visiting some children's hospitals around that date. The hospitals kind of know about that, and we're going to be visiting Hassenfield Hospital in New York City and Cohen's Children's Medical Center about the Monday prior to May the 4th, kind of celebrating May the 4th early with some of the kids there and some of the families there. So that's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. And then later this summer, we're going to be supporting the CradleCon at the Cradle of Aviation, which is in mid-May. And of course, you guys are going to be at our convention that we do on behalf of the Cerebral Palsy Association, the Sci-Fi Minicon. That's July 19th at Levittown Hall in Hicksville, Long Island, New York. That event is really coming together famously. We have Michael C. Williams, who was from the original Blair Witch Project, coming. We have Catherine Mary Stewart from Night of the Comet and Weekend at Bernie's and The Last Starfighter. We have the actor and wrestler Brimstone, and Damien Maffei, who's somebody I just ran into at a convention, who was one of the stars of The Strangers 2. He was the main killer in that. He also did the voice of Pretty Boy Johnny in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. So my kids were very excited to meet him. We got to meet him at a local con here on the island. And I just got to talking with him, and I said, would you like to come to the Sci-Fi Minicon? And he was more than gracious and actually followed up and said, yes, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do something for charity. So this convention is going to be off the hook. It's going to be supported by the 501st, the Saber Guild, the Rebel Legion, IFB Broadcasting, and we actually have Monster coming. Monster Energy Drinks is going to be giving out free energy drinks. So I'm sure all the attendees there are going to be just bouncing off the walls with all the caffeine that's going to be flowing that day. So it's going to be a wonderful day for the charity, and we're just excited to do it. Then on the horizon, we have New York Comic Con coming up. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. It's so fun seeing you guys there as we do our Blaster Trooper for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And then we have other events, around Christmas time, around holiday time. We're just practically every weekend from now until the end of the year, we're going to be booked up with various events. The 501st is just incredibly active around this time throughout the year. And we try to support every organization and every charitable cause that we can during the year. And part of my new role as a charity officer is to seek out different charities. We recently supported the ACLD, the RISE organization, also known as the People's Ark here on the island. We did our Shark Tank event for them at the Long Island Aquarium. We're going to be supporting the American Cancer Society and the various autism foundations. So we just love spreading it around, trying to support various charities throughout the year and trying to make a real impact besides just showing up and being stormtroopers, trying to actually raise some money and raise some funds for some of these organizations. And again, if you guys are interested in the 501st Legion, you can check them out at the 501st.com. And if you'd like to find out more about the Empire City Garrison in the New York area, we're 501ecg.com. And our calendar is now working on our website. You can see some of the events that we're going to be attending and supporting. And if you want to ever come out and see us at one of our events, we'd be glad to have you and help you get into the group if you're interested in information about the costumes or information about the group. We're always there to help. Besides being bad guys doing good, we're troopers helping troopers. And we always like to get new people involved and get them interested in giving back to the community in some way.
Chris Fian, thank you so much. So I've kept up the flyer for Sci-Fi Minicon. We had a great time last year. We're looking forward to going out there this year again. We're going to be bringing some, making donations for the auction, the charity auction. So we have some pieces that we talked about before we came on.
We're going to promote that a lot more this year and try to make a set time so that we have the best crowd possible. What we're deciding to do is probably do it around 1 o'clock, right near the beginning of the con, right before the Saber Guild comes on, because a lot of people start to assemble to see the Saber Guild show.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to do it then. And it's a mix of stuff this year. I think last year we just had some pops and some signed items from some of the actors who were there.
Yeah.
This year, we're going to try to up it a little bit. We're taking donations for various collectibles. I'm donating some of the stuff that I had in my closet that I finally am going to be able to part with, like different Star Wars games and some classic other Star Wars paraphernalia that might be of interest to some of the fans there. So again, all the money from the auction that we do at the con goes directly to the Cerebral Palsy Association. So any donations are welcome. If we can't use them at that con and that live event, we could always use it. Cerebral Palsy has an eBay store that's very successful, that they've raised over $100,000 selling stuff on eBay. So they've done very well with that, and we'd love to support that as well. So anything you have to donate, feel free to bring that to MiniCon, even people who are attending. We always take donations on behalf of the charity, and they can definitely use them to help support their programs and what they do to support the people with disabilities in the community.
Fantastic.
They don't have to be Star Wars related, right?
You don't have to, anything sci-fi related, horror related, anything pop genre related. It actually helps not being Star Wars, being something else, so that it appeals to various folks who attend this con. We have people from all walks of life, all different interests come to this mini con, and it's just been an incredible community experience. Putting this together and inviting all these different fan groups and different fandoms to come and just celebrate being fans, do something at a free environment. But then, if you want to buy some stuff, you want to go in for some of the auctions, if you want to do the raffle that they'll be doing for a 7-foot Darth Vader animated statue, definitely check it out, because it's really just a very fun vibe, which you probably got from when you were there last year.
Absolutely.
You see everybody pitching in, everybody working together to do something good in the community. And it's us kind of sharing the mantra and what we do for the 501st, and like extending that kind of mindset to all the different fandoms to kind of bring them together for a common goal, a common cause. So it's been a tremendous experience for me personally, and just the overwhelming support we've had in the community.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I know John was with us too. John, welcome to live on the show now. We had a good time looking to help out, and thanks for coming on, giving us the update. We look forward to getting all that data dump from you when
I'm going to be taking copious notes. And again, we have many of our members from our own garrison, so I'll be getting some firsthand accounts from some of our members,
so cool.
And cataloging that. So sometime probably mid-May, we'll reconnect and we'll have a huge data dump of all the shockers and the jaw droppers that were released between the celebration and May the 4th.
Fantastic.
I'm just looking forward. Looking forward to Frack the 5th.
It's Revenge of the 5th. What are you talking about? One more thing I want to mention. If anybody does want to catch Revenge of the Sith, it's going to be re-released in theaters on April 25th, leading up to the May the 4th celebration. So for that 1 week only in many theaters around the country, I think it's specifically being done by AMC. Revenge of the Sith is going to be re-released on a wide scale all across the country.
Wow. Well, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Love your segment every time you come on. You're a gentleman, and thank you.
I got to ask, Chris, before you go, I want to ask one thing. Have you seen the DeLoreans? I don't know, maybe it's old. The DeLorean special on, I think it's Netflix, where it is Expedition Unknown.
Oh, yes. I actually had seen it a while ago on Discovery Plus, and now they just added it to Netflix. That's something to check out if you're
amazing.
Back to the Future and finding the old DeLoreans. There's also, if you're interested in the history of the car itself, there's a very good John DeLorean 2-part documentary on Netflix that's just fascinating on how he screwed up that company and its demise. It's just a horror show. But yes, the Discovery Plus Expedition Discovery, Searching for the Time Machine, was just a fantastic show. It was very contrived. Crazy. It was obviously, a lot of it was staged with him and Christopher Lloyd, but it was that was just fun, really fun to watch.
Yep.
Chris, before you go, just putting this out there that since you're a big sci-fi fan and also a past, huge Battlestar Galactica fan, we have a collector, card collector aficionado coming in to the show as our special guest, and he will debut exclusive images of the never produced and released Season 2 Battlestar Galactica Topps cards.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. I didn't even know they existed. They actually had made like
Yep.
prototypes.
The prototypes, yes. The prototypes were made,
What a
uncut
shame.
sheets, and a couple of sets of the cards were cut, and we have images that we're going to share with the world tonight.
That's exciting.
Plus the box, we actually have an image of what the box
Wow.
was going to look like. Yep.
Yeah, it's such a shame. A lot of that stuff just never came out. The popularity went up, sky high, and it was over the top, and then it just kind of trailed off. It was just such a shame.
So tonight we get to share some of these really, really cool pictures that have never been put out anywhere. Like, we've combed the internet looking for some of these in the past. And so
Pete had to put out a advertisement for it.
Yeah, we put out an ad, and so we were lucky enough to have Charles Stewart come on, and he's going to share his pictures from his collection, and he's got a story on how he got them. And so if you get a chance, tune in later on and check it out. I think you might get a kick out of that.
That's
Chris,
exciting. You're still unearthing stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to your next visit, Chris. Take care.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Keep up the good work.
All right. And so guys,
that's so good.
We get our Star Wars update, and we're looking forward to the mini con, right? All that information. I'm looking forward to this stuff myself. And John, I know you were with us when we went to last mini con, and hopefully you'll make it to the next one as well, because we did have a good time, man. It was a lot of fun. And you were doing some interviews too.
What did you buy at the auction, John? I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I got the Fright Night. Signed.
Yeah, autograph. That's right.
Cool.
That's right.
It was a fun day. I really enjoyed it. When I saw the advertisement, I saw IFB there. I'm like, yes, we're going again. So I was happy about that.
I think the auction I got. I went at the auction. I bought the autographed Blu-ray of Last Starfighter.
You did, and you got that autograph too. So, hey, listen, Lola's on, William, Rick, Bert Oliver, and Chris Laskowski, James McCoy, Susan, Erica. Sorry, I didn't get the chance to repost it. It goes up in our what is it, events or live? I think it's events in our IFB feed on Facebook, and then it has to be reposted.
Yeah,
change the rules. I did it last minute, but thanks for joining us, Eric. Appreciate it. Mediocre Modeler, right? He's on with us. Thank you, buddy. And Paul, Commander Kane, and Susan. Who else do I see real quick in my little special
magic mirror?
Magic mirror.
I see.
Whose
birthday is it?
Rick's with us, man. Very cool.
It's Tara's birthday. Happy birthday,
That's right.
Tara.
Happy birthday, Tara. So, John, I got you set up, man. You're kicking it off with this Sinners.
With some Sinners.
Yeah, we got a movie hitting the theaters tomorrow. We're going down south like the 20s. It's twins go back to their home and they uncover unspeakable evil. So it looks pretty funny. It looks like an adventurous comedy show. Michael B. Jordan's in it. Some good actors are in it. So, I guess they come up against vampires and they try to defend themselves. So it's one of those quirky try to stay alive shows with vampires. So it looks pretty good. It's out in theaters tomorrow. So that's the one that's coming out. And Amazon is coming out with a new series. They're developing a series, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon series on Amazon. So, about 15 years late. When did that come out? 2000? 25 years ago? 20 years ago? And Carl Urban will be... Okay. And next one. All right. Carl Urban is in talks. There's a rumor that Carl was in talks with Amazon about bringing a Dredd series to Amazon, which I think would be pretty good if they do it the way the movie he was in, which was, people didn't like it very much, but I like the one. I like that better one than the one with Stallone. This one, the Dredd series of Carl Urban, was really good. So that's going to be coming into a series. So people think it's a rumor now, but he's in talks with it. So hopefully it comes out true. So we'll see. And we haven't known the release date yet. It's still in talks. So hopefully it'll come out soon. And we'll keep you posted what happens because we need Dredd. That's going to be good. And what else? And Ridley Scott, when he's done with all his Avatar movies, he's developing a new Alien movie, which is okay because there's going to be a new Alien series this summer on Hulu coming out, I think, in July. So we're looking forward to that, Alien Earth. So why not make another movie? Keep the franchise going. So I'm happy with that. And we'll keep you posted with that when he decides to bring it out. It's probably going to be a back burner with Avatar. So we don't know. So hopefully we'll come out soon. And if you guys saw Daredevil, the series, the season finale, it was pretty good. It opened up a lot of doors in the postseason credits with what's going to happen. So I don't want to, do any put the cat out of the bag, but it's going to set up a couple of series. It's going to set up the Punisher series, and hopefully the Defenders are going to come back and help Daredevil fight Fisk because Kingpin's back. So it's going to be just like the series, the comic series, Devil's Reign. So we'll probably look for Hawkeye, a couple of MCU characters coming next season. So it's going to be definitely a very good season. First episode I didn't like very much, but it got into a pretty good series. So that was Daredevil, and check it out. And Invincible, if you see Invincible, Battle Beast just has his own new comic now. It just came out. It's a spinoff from the series. Now, I haven't seen this episode of Battle Beast yet, but he's out now. So check out your local comic book store, and you can see it. And Netflix, Ghostbusters is coming out with a third movie, and now it's getting very popular now. So Netflix just announced they're going to come out with a new animated series for Ghostbusters. Hopefully it'll be adult, be like the original series. It's pretty funny, but we'll see. That's in development now, and it should be out by 2026. And Andor's coming out 22nd, 3 episodes. You can have a lot of characters in it. This will set you up to see Rogue One. If you see this season first, and then watch Rogue One, it'll be a lot more explaining things. It'll be a lot more explained, more better book. So this will be the second and final season of Andor, coming out 22nd. And Long Live the Empire. And ForceCon is coming out September. It's going to be a new Star Wars, convention. I haven't heard of one before, but it's going to be in the Meadowlands in Jersey. So these are actors that are coming on now. They're definitely going to have more coming. That's what I want to see. But, Giancarlo Esposito, Billy D. Williams, I'll wait in line to get my autograph for them. They're pretty cool. So get my stuff signed. It's worth it. It's right over across the bridge. So check it out. It's going to be in September 28th, I think. It's right before Comic-Con. So I'll be busy that week. I'm definitely going to go. And Katie Sackhoff is there too. So maybe I can give my card and get an interview with her. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm trying. She's probably going to arrest me for stalking. And that should be it. And we have one more comic. If you check this out, Pastime's out. I sent a letter to Harris. We had him on a couple weeks ago about his comic. And I went there today and it was sold out. So I was glad I reserved it. And that's it. So we'll have a good night tonight. I'm looking for the card guy, and that should be fun. That's
all right. Well, thank you, John. Appreciate it. That is so cool, man. There's a lot of you make the time. I was gonna say find the time, but you make the time to get to the comic book shop and you bring us that stuff, so it keeps us current. Really appreciate you, man. So thank you. Keep up the good work. We got some cons coming up. I'm gonna try to meet you out there. I can't make any promises. I'm definitely committed to the mini con, and we'll see how the festival circuit goes with all of our other projects we got on. We got some stuff cooking, so hopefully we'll try to make it all work. But we have really cool exclusives that have never been seen before in color, live on anywhere. There's been talk. There's been a lot of. It's almost like an urban legend that there's a certain type of Yeah. I'm going to put up, right? So everybody that's a Battlestar Galactica fan remembers the 1978 Topps cards, right? Now, I've mentioned here on IFB Live before that my big Christmas gift in 78 was a box, right? So my mom went and got me a box, and I that's what I did on Christmas Day. I opened up all my cards. I still have them. And there you go. There's the original box that came out. There's a wrapper, yellow wrapper, some of the cards and some of the stickers. But what was not known, or not known by most fans, is the fact that Topps had put together the prototypes for a second series. There was going to be a second series, and it's not speculation, it's a fact. And we're going to reveal all the background. We have an aficionado collector, top-notch collector that's into cards, non-sports trading cards, and we have also part of this Battlestar Galactica legacy. A big fan. I got to talk to him about it, and we're gonna bring him on, and he shared pictures with us. So it's gonna be
It's so cool. Yeah.
I mean, Chris, I don't know if you collected any of the cards. Did you get any? You had some of the cards, right?
I had some of the cards. Yep. Most of the stuff I had was Star Wars at the time, but I did have a lot of Battlestar Galactica cards as well, including some of the Wonder Bread cards.
Oh, the Wonder
from the
Bread
Wonder
cards
Bread.
are cool too. That's
Yep.
a whole other thing. But John, did you ever get any of the cards?
Years ago, I had some growing up. I think I had some in my room somewhere. But yeah, when the first season come out, I have a couple of them. I got I have a couple of Cylons, and I had the Singers, the one with the faces on. I forgot what.
Oh
name
yeah, the Tucana sisters.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what, we
Cylons, of course. That's the best cards of them
yeah.
all.
Well,
They are.
there's
Yeah.
a couple. Charles Stewart shared some of his picked some of the pictures that he
I want the
has.
Lucifer.
And yeah, exactly. We're going to show that in a second. So Charles is in the green room. He's here with us. We're going to talk about the search for the Topps 2, right? The second series of Battlestar Galactica cards. He's got a whole bunch of stuff to tell us. We're lucky enough to have him here on IFB. I'm going to bring him right up. Charles Stewart, thank you so much for joining us here on IFB Live. Welcome to the show. And you're a collector, man. We got to talk for a little while. So, I mean, so cool. And you're a Battlestar Galactica fan. I mean, you're a sci-fi fan. Welcome to IFB, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. Well, like I said, blessed to be here with you guys.
Oh, man, it's so cool. So we got to geek out on a phone call a little while ago, and it's tough when you don't know someone, and then all of a sudden, you click because you find someone that's a fan that's into Galactica or into whatever you're into, and it's so cool because here on our show, Charles, it's all about fans fueling the fleet, and what we put together here with your help is stuff that's really the cards and the images have never really been publicly shown. Now, like I said, a lot of people they're familiar with, like the fans are all familiar with that original set of cards. But when it comes to that second set, it's a whole other thing. I'm gonna set this up with a little bit of how we ended up meeting. And that has to do with the fact that we both subscribe to this magazine, and I had some fans, some of our community here. Yep, it's the rapper, man, and they wanted to know. Like they've been hounding me. Hey, what was that magazine? What issue was it? So Jim, here it is. It's the rapper number 194. April 1 to May 15, 2003, did a front page on the elusive TV series 2 Battlestar Galactica cards. And these guys, Bob and Jeff Marks, these two brothers, we assume, I mean it could be first cousins, they wrote this article and they put up black and white images of like what the cards were supposed to be about. And I'm a latecomer to the rapper. I've only known about the rapper for the last 3, maybe 4 years. Charles, you've known about the rapper for a long time. I think you got this when it first came out back in 2003, correct?
Man, I'd like to say that, but no, I heard about it a little bit after the fact on that. But
okay.
I put a little thought in the back of my head, and then down the road I subscribed. I went to, I think, San Diego Comic-Con, and somebody had a copy on their table, and I saw that. And then just for a number of years, it just in the back of my mind, I was just like, dang, man, I'd like to get some information about it. And then I'm a school teacher. And then over summer, one of the times I just had a little bit more time and said, hey, I'm going to start just doing some detective work. whatever I could. And it's been more than a challenge, to be honest with you, finding information about it. But like I said, I'm not the all pro. I don't have the set in my hands. I wish I did. There's only a couple of them that I know of. There's probably more. Like I said, hoping this show, we beat the bushes and we get some people, somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, and we find some more information about it. So,
oh yeah. So the whole thing was that, Bob and Jeff Marks, right? So they write this great article, and in the article, they make it sound like I think it says that they own, or they had in their possession, like uncut sheets. Like they had a couple of the uncut sheets, and you can see here, I have it up on for everybody to see. They have a layout, and they have each card numbered the way it was set. And, there's the images, and there's a box, right? So if you look on the page 9 at the top of it, that's supposed to be the new box. I mean, you can't tell, it's a black and white picture, so you don't know, but we will hear, with the help of you, Charles, we're gonna actually review. We're gonna actually share with everybody here some of the background that goes into this, but we're gonna actually reveal the colors. We have color pictures of some of these that you're looking at now. We're gonna show you what they actually look like, and that's thanks to Charles. But so what Tipsy Toaster and I did was we took out an ad in the wrapper, and we tried to get in touch with these same guys, the guys that wrote the article. Obviously they never stepped up. I don't know whatever happened to them. We did a Google search, obviously didn't find anything, but instead we met you, Charles. But you'd done the search, like you said before. You took an ad out years ago. What did you find out about the guys?
So bottom line, I just did a search and I found out, the Bob and Jeff Marks, I believe one of them was a dentist. I'm not sure if it was his son. I want to say it was his dad and his son. I could be wrong on that. And so I started doing phone searches. I made some calls. I want to say they're back in the Northeast, like Connecticut or Maine or somewhere like that. And like I said, I literally made some phone calls trying to track these guys down.
Oh, wow.
And I finally got a hold of somebody at one point, and like I said, it was really difficult because obviously the name Bob and Jeff are not exactly uncommon. But I found out, like I said, it was the dentist, got a hold of somebody. And like I said, remember this a lot of years ago, so my story might be a little bit in and out where I'm going with it. But they said that they had the uncut sheet and then they had sold it at an auction at some point.
Wow.
So some of the examples out there now, I don't know. I would hope nobody cut up an uncut sheet to make it.
Wow, that would be horrible.
Yeah, I know that there's at least a minimum of 2 sets. I know Topps Vault in the mid 2000s sold the cards online on eBay, and at the time I wasn't smart enough to go out and purchase them, which I sure wish I did. And then there would be a couple on eBay randomly over the years that just sat there, really high priced, and then I kind of just kept pursuing it. So after kind of striking out on the Bob and Jeff Marks, I put that out in the wrapper, hoping like so there's gonna be some non-sports people out there who knew somebody possibly. And then I got a hit, a gentleman named Robert Tutalo in June of 2018 got back to me, and I was able to make contact with him, and he sent me some pictures, but they were just in the sheets of 9 of what it was, because in my mind, it was kind of more of a mission of, I just wanted to see what they look like. It's kind of like an art piece that's lost. And I didn't have to have them. Obviously, that'd be phenomenal if I did. But just seeing what those pictures look like was really cool to me. So they were kind of at a side angle. There were a lot of glare. And I wasn't trying to be real pushy about it because I was just happy that I saw anything whatsoever. He sent me some of those of the 9, but not close-ups or anything. So I kept pursuing it. Then another gentleman, a guy named Dan and Amy, I want to say they're from Florida. I could be wrong. I think they advertise in the wrapper also. They got a hold of me, and he has a set. But he didn't want to take scans on it because he wanted it to hold its value. He chose to sell it down the road. And, it's not for me to say either way on they're his cards. So he just told me about it. But some of the cards on eBay would pop up just as a single. They're blank backs. and they'd be like over $100. Sometimes they'd sit there for a long time. I think there was like 2, and they would sit there probably a year or so.
Wow.
Somebody ended up buying them. Long story short, then we jump ahead, and I got on Facebook, and this is probably in 2021. And I went to a couple of the Battlestar Galactica Facebook groups related to, obviously, Galactica, the classic series. And I posted on there, and I posted what I had of some pictures. And I completely jumped out of order on the timeline. Let me go back a little bit after Bob and Jeff Marks. In 2015, I bought some stuff from Topps Vault. And because they had sold those cards earlier, I emailed the guy and said, hey, is there any crazy chance that you guys have any images of the 1978 Series 2 Galactica in the computer, on a disc, in the files, anywhere, uncut sheets, something laying around? And the guy that worked there was really cool. And he says, hey, I'll get back to you in a day or two. And he got back to me, and on some computer somewhere stored, he had about 45 pictures that they used as the picture for the eBay auction when they sold them. And he put them on a disc for me and mailed them to me. So I had single pictures of about, I want to say 45 of them. So then I was kind of moving in the right direction, but still there's 132. So I was about whatever that is, 80, 90 short. So I did the Facebook post, posted some of the ones I had. And a guy named Ray, I hope I don't say his name, G out of Canada, I made contact with, and he has the entire set.
Wow.
He sent me a couple pictures. I was blown away. And I said, hey, look, I'll tell you what, to make it worth your while, do me a favor. Take a picture of all 132 cards. I will send you a couple bucks per card for your time and trouble. Email them to me. And like I said, he was being really cool about it. And he, over a course of a couple, 2-3 days, he literally sent me all 132 pictures of the Galactica Series 2 cards. And yeah, that's
wow.
Kind of
all right. So
I probably forgot something in between, but
no. As you remember, you're gonna, just bring it up. But the idea is so cool. So you basically had tried to reach out and find the same guys that we did, but I just did it like in the last 7 months ago, maybe. I took, Tipsy and I took out the ad intentionally, and we were holding back from presenting the actual here. Let me bring that back up so everybody can see. Right. So this is the wrapper article. Now I actually want to discuss, right? So I circled something in there, but before we do the reveal, Charles, I want to make sure that everybody here, all the fans, understand there is, right, the Battlestar Galactica Colonial Warriors trading cards, right, from 2005. And this set, they created a what they believe, it's like a fantasy set of what they thought the continuation might look like. Like they just made up a bunch of cards. It's not I don't know how many they are off the top of my head. I have some of them, right? So this is right. So this is from. I'm gonna open this up so everybody can see there, right? So you see these cards up here. These cards are from 2005. So if any of you have those cards, right, the ones I just showed you, or the set of those, that is not what we're talking about, right? We are talking about the actual second season, right? The second set of Battlestar Galactica cards that were never produced. They were never released. However, voila, here it is on IFB. These are the cards that were supposed to come out, but they didn't, right? So they scratched it. They didn't release them. There's the box. You see the red sides of the box. The original one that came out didn't have the red. Now you get to see it, right? In the magazine, right? Everything in here is all black and white, right? But there you go. You get to see that they had red sides to them. I never knew that. I don't think anybody else really has seen that out there. And then you see the cards. So the original cards, they have Battlestar Galactica titles in yellow, and these are in green. So that's from Worth Point. So Charles, where'd you sent me the link, and I grabbed that off of the Worth Point. And I think that was that auction that you mentioned.
Yeah, I just, like I said, I was just doing some searches on stuff, and then I've met a couple other people who might have a card here and there through the Facebook Battlestar Galactica groups, and they'll share me a picture of a card. Obviously, there's the uncut sheet right there that somebody had at some point in time, as you can tell by the color codes on the right. So from Topps, they did the test sheet. Show got canceled. They backed off on it. But like I said, to me, that's phenomenal. So whoever out there has it, hey, hallelujah to you, and you're a lucky person.
Oh, yeah. And here are some of the pictures you shared with us. Take a look at the Land Ram. I was, obviously everybody knows here on IFB, Interfleet Broadcasting, we are all huge Battlestar Galactica fans. I've always been a fan from the beginning, from even before to today. And the Land Ram is one of my favorite vehicles. I've never seen that image anywhere. That is so awesome. Also, that looks like a sticker, Charles. Is that what that is, all the way with the red around it?
So when I was going through my little timeline, I missed, and because I don't have the email anymore, and I don't have the contact, and I don't remember who it was, but in the early to mid 2000s, somebody had reached out to me, or I contacted them through eBay, and they had these. But the gentleman, I want to say he was in Florida also, and they were in real estate for some reason, I want to say, and they had them in the closet. He had bought some of the originals as shown there. That's the top seal on the top of that little orange seal on the top of the bottom right card is its sticker. And they had some in the closet, and they brought them out. And I said, hey, man, can you do me a favor? I would just love to see what they look like. I've never seen a sticker. I've seen a couple of the cards as shown, but I had never seen a sticker in my life of the Series 2 whatsoever. So his wife took a couple pictures, but there was a glare in it. And same thing, I'm not in any position to say, hey, you retake that picture and send it or anything like that. That's not cool when they're doing me a favor. So they sent about 3 or 4 of them. But like I said, those are probably even rarer than the cards themselves. Because like I said, at least I know of 2 people minimum or 3 that have the whole set of these. But the stickers, other than that person who had them, I've never seen them. And I would hope that somebody here knows the person who has them. They're probably still sitting in their closet in a box or something like that. And I hope they're a Galactica collector and not somebody who just picked them up. But that was straight from Topps Vault off of eBay. And that's really cool. So that's cool. One I really still don't have any clue whatsoever. So hopefully the show catapults us or anybody to finding them, because we have a picture of the wrapper. We got a picture of the box as you just shown. The pictures of the cards, but not the sticker.
Yeah, that's insane. So this is something interesting in the article that was in the wrapper. It says at this point, the only missing puzzle piece is an example of the test proof wrapper to this set. Has anyone seen it yet? Perhaps we will all get that chance if it appears on some future Topps auction. So, Charles, you sent me a picture. I wasn't sure if that was the real wrapper or not. Is that what this guy was talking about?
To my knowledge, that's the wrapper. That is
okay.
The one I sent you is the wrapper. Yeah. Hopefully you have it up here to pull up.
I don't, but I'm going to I want to verify with you before we put it up. So I'll share that separately. I'll put that up. I will put a watermark on it just because we don't want anybody to try to reproduce those and do the wrong thing with that. So there'll be a watermark, and I'm going to make sure that I credit that's from your personal collection. So, I mean, this is really cool. Baz, thanks for joining us. Hope things are going well down under. We're with Charles Stewart, who's a mega Battlestar Galactica fan and collector of the cards. And we are, taking a look at the never before released second set. We're assuming that it would have been 1979 release for these. There's only a couple of sets known that exist and very few pictures. And we're lucky that Charles actually shared all this stuff with us. And that's what the uncut sheets look like. I mean, you can't blow them up too much, but you can kind of tell what's there. There's some really cool images. I know that Commander Kane, Paul Rotter, said there's a different pose for Athena that we're not used to in one of those. Actually, I'll go back and I'll show you guys. Where is it? There it is in the black and white. And so, yeah, from what I can tell, they picked some really cool pictures, way better than the first set. Charles, do you agree? I mean, they look cool.
Absolutely. But like I said, it might be just because of the rarity. But to me, like I said, is this more action shots? It was more episodes spread out, it appears.
Yeah.
What's funny is right behind me, I put up for this today, is an uncut sheet here of the Series 1.
Oh, yeah.
You guys can see it very well or not, but it might be grainy in the picture. But that's a Series 1 uncut sheet. There's two different sheets that they did, an A and a B sheet. And then here I got the Wonder Bread cards. I've never seen an uncut Wonder Bread sheet.
Yeah, I've
never seen it either. Yeah.
We Charles, we discussed there's some other oddities and rarities, and it touches on that sheet, but we're working on a side project, so I'm going to hold that back for now. And if we can get that other side project going, we're going to actually delve really into that thing. So there is something very, very rare with the original uncut sheets of the actual 1978 Topps Battlestar Galactica cards. I unfortunately don't have one of those sheets, but you do. But there's a side project that IFB is working on. We've alluded to it before. Hopefully towards the end of the year, we'll be able to announce that this project has been completely greenlit, and Charles is going to work with us, and we will discuss in detail the background to a mystery that exists, a rarity that exists in the 1978 cards. So the cards that were released. So we'll talk about that separately. And if for whatever reason the project doesn't happen, I'll ask Charles if he's willing to come back, and we will get into it with pictures, and we can talk all about it on IFB. But we're going to hold that off. But this in and of itself is really cool. And remember, guys, these images, for example, that box, the color box, the closest that I ever came as a collector, everybody here knows that I'm a big Galactica collector. There's the closest I ever came to is that black and white of what the box would look like. But you can't tell from that. You got to go to this picture to see. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be red. Oh my God. And the stickers too. So, Charles, do you know anything about the stickers? Do you know if it was going to be a full set, or do you know anything about that?
I wish I did, and I don't have a good answer for you guys. That's part of that's eluded me. Like I said, the stickers are even harder to find than the cards from my searches. I don't have any. I do know of a person who would know, and he wrote a book about. He worked directly at Topps. His name is Gary Garani. Gerani. So if somebody watching this knows Gary, he worked at Topps. He was one of the designers. He's probably the one who pulled the pictures himself.
Wow.
We were just watching a YouTube episode earlier today about how he did that with Planet of the Apes and how he did that with Star Wars. So I know he directly worked on the 78 Galactica and the Series 2. He has a book. It's called Card King Chronicles. And in it has all the different sets that Topps made and a little blurb about each different one. And there's a little blurb in there on the Series 2. And I believe that's where I got the picture of the wrapper is from there. I was going to try to get the book up before I came on, and I couldn't find it here in the house. I know I have it somewhere, but I want to say that's where I got a picture of that wrapper. It was directly from him. So that should be verification that it's legit, because he's the one who actually was the person who made the cards, essentially.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, somebody on here knows him. Hey, get a hold of this gentleman.
Yeah, for sure.
Please do. Yeah.
What's funny is I've even been lately, actually earlier today, just on a whim, I reached out to some people who used to work at the Topps factory in Philadelphia. And I was just kind of generally asking about the uncut sheets themselves. So I'm waiting for some responses back on that. But I'm trying to do more and more detective work to
Heck yeah. Hey, we share it out with our fans, man. This is so cool. Hey, Deg.
Yeah. Somebody who worked there has this stuff set aside.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee somebody has it. They just,
It's in an archive somewhere.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
absolutely.
Yeah, we gotta bust this out. We gotta break it open, man.
Yes.
Deg, thanks for joining us. We're talking Deg. It was a guest here on IFB not too long ago, part of the community now. He's a big fan. And he had a comic book store in Chicago before he went into special effects in Hollywood. And he was familiar with the original 1978 collection, but like I've been saying now, you're here now, Charles, and we're debuting the fact that the 1979, the Series 2 Galactica cards exist out there, at least the prototypes, right? And the pictures are so cool. There's other pictures. We have some other stuff there too. We shared a few on our IFB page. It's pinned, so when you get on there, you can see that. And here is the uncut sheets. Never before, besides in the wrapper, but the wrapper doesn't even have a real image of the sheets, and the wrapper is all black and white. But this is what the sheets existed at some point, and I'm pretty sure they still do, right? So these images are for Series 2, 1970. I guess they would come out 79. Were never released. So technically unproduced by Topps. So the Galactica had one set. They were supposed to get the second, never came out. And here are those images for all the Galactica fans to enjoy, like myself. I mean, I'm just so excited beside myself when I saw these. I was like, whoa, so cool. And then I'm just gonna go on to So here's a couple of choice. I picked these, and of course there's Cylon Raider and some base stars and a Cylon for Tipsy Toaster, so you could be happy. So Tipsy, when you get a chance,
go back to that Lucifer one, was amazing.
Oh, the Lucifer one's really cool too. But in the one that says the Death Squad, if you look very, very carefully, if you have a big enough monitor, you'll be able to see that the Cylon's eye, his red eye, is like right almost in the middle. It's really cool. Never seen that image before. And there's a sticker. Hey, so Charles, what was it like when you first saw these? Right, when you started, when you got the images of these, what was it like?
I was just blown away because Topps Vault's the one who took care of me in the first place when I, like I said, emailed them, and they sent me the ones on the, it was on a disc, and I was just like, holy mackerel, this is how awesome is this?
Wow.
But it's kind of like looking for gold, and you keep striking out, you keep persisting, and years go by, and it's kind of a myth out there. You've heard of it, but you've never seen it. And it's kind of like your little white well, I guess, of Jonah. And you're just going to keep persisting and doing it. And to finally get leads, through the Bob Marks in the Rapper magazine 194, and to get the lead from Topps Vault on the 45. And then, like I said, you just keep putting it out there. The more it gets out there, the more chances of somebody knowing something or knowing of somebody who has it.
Right.
That's why I ran the ad in the Rapper. I want to say I ran it in there for a couple of years almost.
Oh, and really?
It was slim pickings. I wasn't, luckily they're very affordable, but I wasn't getting any responses hardly at all. And I was like, damn, these are some hardcore non-sport card collectors here, and I'm not getting much. But then finally I got a couple of responses. And jumping back to what you were saying earlier, Pete, the expansion set was the ones in Rittenhouse is what it's called. The one from 2004 that you showed.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Those are really cool. But yeah, sometimes I'll post stuff like this when I did on Facebook, and people get a little, not everybody knows, obviously, but they'll think that these are the series ones that they had growing up in packs and, at school. Because, I was 8 years old when I was collecting these. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just these are thousands of times, well, more than that, scarce, obviously.
Oh, heck yeah.
But anyway, when Ray Gee from Canada, and what's funny is I messaged him today about this, and he says, hey, can I get on the podcast? I said, hey, man, I'll mention it to the gentleman there, to Pete and Chris. I'm sure they'd, like to get you on a different one. I don't know about tonight.
Heck yeah.
But he's the one who has the full set. He can go into breakout. He actually has a ET unpublished set also.
Oh, wow.
That never came out. So I don't know if they call test one, probably is not the word. Unpublished, I guess, would be the best word for the Galactica. I call it the test set, unpublished, but unpublished is probably the better word, since it, they did the prototypes. Obviously, Topps did the work to have them all ready to go, but all of them are blank back also. They never got to the production stage of doing the writing on the back of the cards ever on them.
Wow.
So, but yeah, every single one of them that I've ever heard about is a blank back.
Yeah, well, the writing on the original series wasn't that great anyway.
They used you know what? They used some of the stuff they quote, I think, is from one of the original scripts, because it's kind of strange, but they had the poster and stuff like that. Charles, I don't know if you picked up on, there's a wrapper issue, and there's a small article in a subsequent issue talks about there might be something to do with the way the outlines of some of the posters in the 78 set. There might be some variations in how the ink came out, and so some of it's off or something. Remember that?
In terms of the series 1, you mean?
Yeah, series 1. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Basically, because they put them on these mass, they mass crank them out on the machine.
Yeah.
So for the people who are the PSA registry collectors here, I don't know if anybody collects PSA cards of Galactica, but that's a real big thing that I was doing for a while. Basically, if the machine is a little bit off in terms of not centered properly, as anybody here who collects baseball cards or whatever, maybe you'll get a card and it's off-centered, so it's not cut right. And then sometimes there might be a little bit of bleeding on the colors and stuff like that. Okay. So for the PSA people somebody like me who collects that stuff for fun as a hobby, so I would go out and buy in the early 2000s, also mid 2000s, still up to now, I was buying boxes of Topps Galactica, for $50 to $45 to $75. And I would go through it, and I would literally go through every pack. I'd pull out the good ones that are high grade and set them aside, and then send them into PSA to get graded. But there's certain cards based on positioning on the sheet that are almost impossible to get in a PSA 10 or even a PSA 9.
Wow.
And PSA registry got a hold of me and a couple of the guys that are top on the registry set. And there's not a whole bunch of people, mind you, that are collecting the PSA set. I wish more would. But they did a little article in the PSA registry on us about the Galactica base set of 132 cards. And that was pretty neat.
Yep, I read it. I came across that. I think, I don't know, Tipsy, a couple of years ago, we talked about cards and the Galactica cards and stuff. And we actually went to Philly. We went to the non-sports card convention, the show. And we met everybody there, and we interviewed, and so we discussed a little bit about, what it was like to collect the cards. And so there is a little bit of a background in terms of the collecting and Galactica and stuff. But when we dive into this stuff, now we've never discussed, Charles, we never really talked about grading the cards. I know that Deg, he said he's gonna I'm gonna put this up so everybody can see this. Deg, I hope you don't mind. I have to dig through my shed and look for some of the he's got. He had a comic book shop, so he may have some of the cards. I don't know, Deg, if you have any of these second series, that's incredible. But even if you have any of the 78 in wrappers or in boxes, you got to let us know, because I definitely would be interested.
But I'm not eating the bubble gum again. No,
not again. He already did it, Charles.
No.
I had Tipsy ate the gum. We opened up
No.
sets of cards. We opened
No, no more
1978 Battlestar Galactica cards, and Tipsy ate the gum.
That's
No,
47 years old of bad gum, hard as a rock, and probably nasty.
Yep.
Robert,
it was amazingly
Robert asked the
nasty.
question I'm seeing here, Robert Baum, about if it covered the rest of the season. And no, it just covered, like, I want to say the first 3 episodes primarily, maybe one of the other ones, but it didn't go all the way into like Experiment of Terra or, you know, any of those farther episodes. I wish it would have, from what I've seen in the set
Oh yeah.
of the series too.
I'm gonna jump in and have some of my Wonder Bread cards graded, Charles, because I think I might have some really, you know, if not 10s, I might have some 9s, because I may have actually bought. I don't know. I don't think I bought them from you, but I think I got a set from someone that you may have dealt with. They were wrapped in paper, and they were like, you know, mint. And
Wax paper?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it might be your guy. So those are like really, really good. And just for kicks, I might send some of my favorite up to have them, you know, done. I want to also bring up our other creative director and producer here, Dr. Chris McAuley, who is here. Hey, Doc, what's up? Are you? There we go. You need to unmute yourself.
Hopefully it'll
There you go.
unmute
All right.
now. There we go.
Good. Welcome to IFB again. We're here with Charles Stewart, who is a subject matter expert, and as far as I'm concerned, one of I'll say it this way, so I don't put him on the spot too much, is one of the aficionados, if not the, when it comes to the Battlestar Galactica cards. And we've been talking about finding, it's more or less, you know, in big terms, the one of the grails, one of the holy grails. We've now proven that it's not an urban legend. They exist, and there's a couple of sets only that are out there. We shared some of these very rare pictures, and there might be more to it. Charles, would you be open to reach out to your buddy, your contact in up north in
Topps.
Canada,
Yeah.
and let him know that we would love to have him come on. Would you be willing to come on again with them?
Absolutely. He's the one who owns the set, so he's the one who did me a favor by sending me the pictures. Like I said, I was just the one putting in the legwork, trying to track all these down all these years, and try to find it from, you know, picking from different spots here and there, and, you know, gathering a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. But yeah, having him come on, Ray would love to do it. I mentioned it, and he would be definitely interested in coming on.
Oh, that would be so cool, because we could actually, so imagine that, Doc. We're gonna get someone that owns one of these sets. So Deg, if you go into YouTube, you'll find we have the episode archived on YouTube where Tipsy Toaster eats the gum. So we opened up, we had originally sealed Battlestar Galactica cards, and the gum obviously was in it, and Tipsy ate the gum. I had to drink a bottle of Vulcan ale that was 20 years old and skunked, but I had to drink that, and that was But Tipsy did eat the gum, and he's here to tell the story, and it's really funny. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. And no, there is no bread. The loaves are gone, Rob. I do have Charles. Do you have an actual Wonder Bread bag from the Battlestar Galactica cards?
I want to say I have one, but it's in my collector room. That'd have to be a different episode, because my Battlestar Galactica collection is pretty goes with all the toys. I have a lot of the magazines. I've got something here. Like I said, this doesn't exactly have to do with tonight's show, but I'll show you guys. It's kind of a cool looking thing. I went out and had people, I commissioned them to make some of the, basically based on the Mattel line of the Galactica action figures based on 78, but I wanted different characters or different variations. So here's one right here. Oh, let me get it up close to the.
Oh, look at that.
Custom. Nice.
Look at that.
Oh, that's
Custom
cool.
made for anybody who's a Jane Seymour fan. We got this one here. I thought was really good. It came out really good.
Oh, wow.
We'll open it up. Come on. Let's do an unboxing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Let's
I'm
do an
on that.
unboxing. Come on.
I'm on that, Chris. Checks in the mail too, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys know that was not Gene Seymour's backside that we saw in the second part of the pilot? I was watching the commentary on the DVD, and it was made very clear that was not Gene Seymour's backside. That was actually a lad's backside.
No.
They had to do it was a stump backside. They had to do a shot when she was going up to the standing for the pyramids. Because she'd already gone at this stage. Already gone.
Yes.
Yeah, the shot.
Right.
So it was
everybody in the pyramids, yes, they could not fly them out. So they went to Egypt and they hired
put a wig on,
hired them and had to do
it. Amazing. It was like,
Well, I just picked these up. When I saw them, I jumped right on these. These are from the Battlestar Galactica Colonial Warriors set. These were they're like chase cards. So I got 4. I had 3. So there's 9 of these. And so now I'm missing only 2. So I got these, and every so often I'll try to complete my whole collection.
Don't forget we interviewed Matt Bush, who drew the
he did the artifacts cards.
The artifacts cards, yep.
That's right. Those are really hard. Another, I don't know if you have a set of those, Charles.
Yeah, I've got that whole Rittenhouse set. Those are really cool. I love the graphics on them. I think they did a phenomenal job. To anybody who's watching, I would absolutely get on eBay or wherever and pick those up. What you have or anything, they're just neat looking. They display well.
Yeah.
I want to jump off course a little bit, if you don't mind. Maybe a 2-minute little story. It's kind of a rare thing. So here's another one, a custom I had made. Lance Legal MAGA. No, man. Here's another one of it. I hope I'm not going too fast on
Ooh, that's cool.
That's nice.
So this is 2 different people who created these for me.
Cool.
One was over here in Burbank and one's in England. Anyway, long story short, I'm a PE teacher. Back in 1999, I had a student in my class, and I wanted him to play on my flag football team. So I said, hey, he wouldn't let him. He said his dad wouldn't let him play. So I said, hey, let me call your dad and see if I could talk him into it. And this is up here in Fraser Park area, California, which is about an hour and a half north of Los Angeles, kind of up in the mountains, basically about 4,000 foot, valley. Anyway, so I called the gentleman up, said, hey, what do I need to do to get it done out? He can only come twice a week. We'd be happy to have him. Now I have him working around the farm here and our property, doing work. And he was an 8th grader, probably 6 foot, big, 210 pounds, would have been phenomenal for us. Long story short, the kid's last name is Legal.
Oh.
And the worst part of the story is I'm sitting here calling him, but I didn't know that the dad's name was Lance. I just said, hey, Mr. Legal, my name's Mr. Stewart. I'm calling. What do we need to do? And then here a few years later, I sat there and figured out, hey, hold on. That's Lance Legal of Battlestar Galactica and Colonel Decker from the A-Team. And here I am talking to him on the phone, and I'm a lifelong Galactica diehard fan. And I had no idea who the hell I was talking to.
Charles, the voice is very distinctive. It's that lower octave. But maybe he doesn't do that professionally. Maybe his voice in the phone sort of like, hi, I'm Lance. That's really hi, I'm Lance.
That's what you got to go with, Charles. It's like it was all didn't recognize the voice. The name thing didn't connect. So yeah. Oh wow.
So dumb because he only lived a few miles from where I was at, and I could have picked his brain about Galactica. Or if around the house, and unfortunately, but it's just kind of a weird thing.
Opportunity.
Wow.
Hey, Charles, I want to ask you this: who's your favorite Battlestar Galactica character? I'm going to put you in the spot. Who do you like the most in the series?
And can it be a guest star? Or does it have to be one of the?
Oh, it can be whoever the hell you want, mate.
Honestly, I'd say Lance Legal.
Right.
I love the Beryllian No-Man. I wish they could have done more with it. I've seen some unreleased scripts from season 2 that they have out there that the writers had drawn up, and I just thought it was really the deep voice and how him and his conversations with Boltar went. I just really,
But he gets killed. Lance Legal gets killed in Magnificent Warriors.
Well, yeah, but they brought him back as these 2 different people in the glass.
Yeah, but they could have mysterious powers, Tipsy, that we don't know about.
Hey, it's a parallel universe, guys.
And
Working
you
It's
really
it,
can't take
it's it.
someone seriously who wears a tinfoil hat. So
Yeah, well, it's all cool. We love it. We love it
what
to
was
death.
that? Booties was his name, or was
Yeah.
that
booties, yep,
Yep.
Booties? Right, with red eye. Red eye
Yep.
shot him down.
Yep.
So we need to put
Absolutely.
a bounty on him.
Well, we which kind of we have to then mention a little bit on the fact that the Stranded Warrior, our fan film, is getting the closest it's ever gotten, thanks to Tipsy Toaster, Chuck Davenport, and Chris Marshall working their butts off, and thanks to Dorian as well for supplying that music that's going to be in it as well. Thank you guys. We're that much closer. If you see some of the scenes and the special
we're real
effects,
close. Yeah.
George Zuvalos and everybody that actually is in the project itself. Of course, Dr. Chris McAuley, executive producing. Thank you guys. It's getting there. We won't let you know. There's no dates. We're not gonna set a date, but we're getting very, very close to finishing this. And it's a
that
lot
last
of
scene
fun.
that last scene that we just put out was wow. The
Oh,
music,
yeah.
acting, it was fantastic.
It's really cool. And of course, there will be a screening, guys, for all of you that
Yep.
supported the Kickstarter. It was just more than successful Kickstarter. Raised over 14 grand to put that together. So you guys will obviously get a chance to screen that first. That'll be happening. So stay tuned. Of course, we'll talk more about our other projects afterwards. But looking forward to having you back, Charles. Man, so cool. Thank you very much. I know the fans are all happy with getting to see all this stuff. Like, hey Rick, thanks. One of our award-winning sci-fi authors that's a fan of ours, part of the community here, and we have superfan Fran, who's was a fan fiction writer back in the day. One of the legacy writers. Is part of our our to do. So thank you everybody. Commander Kane, everybody that's on here that are all fans. We got to see some cool stuff. Thanks to you, Charles. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. Like I said, Chris and Pete and Dr. Chris, like I said, hey, pleasure to be here. I'd love to come on a different time and show you guys some other Galactica stuff I have. And
Heck yeah.
Like I said, I mentioned before real quick, I have a series 1 sheet where it has 5 cards that were never produced. And that's probably even more rare than the series 2.
Wow.
Yep.
And, I can show you that stuff. But those were cards that they did on the test. And then all of a sudden they decided they didn't like that image or the writing. And they flip-flopped it around to what they did on the series 1. So we got some more stuff to bring to the table if you guys would have me back. So that'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. I wanted to
wait. Frack yeah.
While you're still here, Charles, I just wanted to thank Mark Todd here on IFB. He had put up some extras of a couple of collectibles and things Galactica related that he had. And he had some qubits that were cast from an actual prop. And so I picked these up, and he had one of the eagles for the mug. And so thank you for sending that out to me, Mark. Appreciate it. It came perfectly packaged. These qubits are cool. I acquired one of the actual props, movie, TV used props from Galactica. So I have one, but this is a copy that was cast, and it's the detail. I put it next to the one that I have, and it's spot on. So thanks. And Gary, I have one for you. I'm holding on to that. And hey, it's fun when we get to talk, when we have fans that are like-minded. So we're looking forward to having you again, Charles. Please reach out to the contact that you made. We'll have him on the show when we'll take a deep dive.
Absolutely. Hey, sooner the better. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, all the best. Here's to you.
Here's to you.
Fans feel the fleet.
Fans feel the fleet.
With my Galactica glass.
Whoa. We got to see that. Which glass is that one? Is that the one with everybody on it?
Yep.
Oh, that's the rare one. Yeah.
Universal.
That's the good one. All right, cool. Well done, my friend. All right, Charles, let's stay in touch. Thank you for sharing the pictures and stuff. We'll put up more stuff later on.
Thank you so much, Els. Take care.
All right, take care.
Tipsy, what are you drinking?
Save the Galaxy.
Oh, okay. An Indian Pale Ale. All right, fair enough.
All right, you give him the pass, Doc?
What's this?
You give him the pass?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
well, I'm dressed up as Zarek. That's it. Any rum and standby or anything? No, I've been
good.
Sealing the basement at my house, so
right.
I've just ran up in my coveralls, which now I look like Zarek. But don't worry about it. I do support not only New Galactica, but there is the old Galactica.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I was waiting for Pete to start singing.
Yeah. I knew this was coming.
Right?
I knew it was coming.
That's it. All he needs is the nipple tassels. What's our Battlestar Galactica? Nipple tassels.
Yes, of course.
That's right.
Oh boy.
They make those? Where can I get those?
So So Doc, what'd you think, man? We had
that was really interesting because I'm a new Galactica person, new Galactica fan. I wasn't around during any of those cards or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I was actually watching it as I was getting ready to come on the show. It's fascinating. I'm interested in all that stuff and toys. I love seeing the old toys as well. All the old props and toys and comic books that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. All of that stuff's great.
Oh yeah, very cool. So you've been busy. You've been very
well. We were talking about some of the stuff I was doing last week, and now we've got new stuff to talk about this week.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Wow.
As a matter of fact.
There
we go.
I'm only allowed to show this part of the comic. This eye. But what a beautifully illustrated eye that is.
It's good.
That's by an artist, Ed Doyle. Ed Doyle is fairly well known in UK comic circles. Mm-hmm. That is an eye of a particular monster. Okay. This is a brand new horror universe that I've started to create.
Whoa.
So more news on that soon. That's coming out in comic. But isn't that a lovely?
That's pretty great. But you know what it also reminds me of is the Shadow.
Oh, it does.
It could look a bit like Cranston. Yeah, could.
Yeah.
The shadow of the hat. Absolutely.
It could be. But I can assure you, it's not.
No. It just says it has that style.
It evokes that. Yes, it does. Yeah, it does.
It does. It's beautiful. It's really good. I've been very lucky to be continuing to work with quality artists. I mean, after last week, I can't tell you, Dark Legacies has passed the Kickstarter with flying colors now. And we've got even more.
Put my Kickstarter in.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, mate. We've even more stuff that's coming if we start hitting more targets. So we're gonna, if we hit, we just need another, I think, $1,500 more Canadian, and we'll add another 4 pages to the comic.
Fantastic!
With an additional story. We announced that Doctor Who star Nicola Bryant, who played the Sixth Doctor's assistant Perry, she joined the comic. She's actually playing the part of Claudia's character's ex-girlfriend. So there is, Claudia was all on for that. So they're friends in real life. So I thought, well, let's do that.
Okay. Yes. What's on the prison barge stays on the prison barge. Yes,
that's right. Just testing out these new uniforms for the next human prisoners.
Yeah. So this is an interesting image. You all know who this is. So this is a depiction that artist Seitchnit created of Bram Stoker's Dracula. So, and I'm not allowed to say too much about it, but this could be a template for the Stokerverse TV show.
Oh boy.
Oh.
For what Dracula might look like.
Whoa, that's cool. Oh boy.
but it's a beautiful image. Si's doing
it is.
a few more.
Absolutely. Wow.
The Si's been working on Dark Legacies. He's worked on Stokerverse. He's working with me as well on a Choose Your Own Adventure kids book. So he's beavering away illustrating that. That should be coming out in September time, the first one.
So this is a night full of exclusives. The image we saw before with the eye.
Yeah,
right?
nobody's
So
seen that.
This exclusive.
Yeah.
This is exclusive.
Yeah, nobody's
plus
seen
all
that.
those other the card stuff all has not been shared. This is exclusive to IFB Interfleet Broadcasting. So thanks for joining us and thank you for bringing this stuff up. And then how about this?
Yeah. So this is a poet. He's very accomplished, Jeff Oliver. He's a horror poet, and I've worked with him on a couple of books, including a Dracula book, which has been very highly regarded. It was up for a Bram Stoker Award. I've worked with him, I think, in four different books now. So this will be I think this is our fifth. Jeff would correct me if I was wrong, but I have a little piece in here, a little short story in here, and all Jeff's books are fully illustrated by the wonderful Dan Verkus, and you can see his cover art there.
Wow!
Usually very evocative, disturbing pieces of work, but Jeff is a fantastic poet. Check him out on Facebook, and check out his other books as well.
Cool. All right. Well, then we're going to move on to the next thing. So we move away from the horror and we go into this.
So this is an image from a kids book that Claudia Christian and I have done called The Muller Tree. This isn't a final image in any way, shape, or form, but this will show you some of the main characters of the Muller Tree, the different characters that live under the tree, the different little animals. So this is just a teaser image, and this is a kids book that will be out later on in the year.
Now is that a black cat?
That is a black cat.
Okay. That
is not my black cat.
Okay. Because I figured maybe it was inspired by.
No, that is a black cat called Lulu.
Oh, okay.
And you will meet Lulu. She's one of the central characters in the book.
Ah, okay. I like the cardinal myself, so that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm going for the bandit there.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course you would. Yeah. So that's So can you tell us whether or not that's already you've been signed for this? This is coming.
Oh yeah, we've already announced this. This is we haven't shown this image before. I mean, again, this is just like a test image. It's not a final image. It's just something
cool.
that we can show that that this is a work in progress.
Can you tell us who the artist is?
I actually don't know.
Okay, because this is cool.
The publisher didn't tell me. It was a site. I will find out. Whenever we're able to show the cover and
because this is really cool.
We were just sent this a couple of days ago,
but nobody likes the term.
It was it was just the publisher said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And I went,
it's really cool. But, I like it a lot.
This is so this is going to be the vein of the book, So this is, I think I have 6 kids books coming out this year already that are all signed to come out. So
wow,
this is one of them.
Very cool. And then there was this.
And then there was this.
Shadows of the Desert.
Well, you can talk about this, Pete.
Absolutely, we can.
While I have a slug of my beer here.
Yes. So
right, I'll join you.
Yes, you guys do that. Shadows of the Desert, guys. If you haven't listened to it, this is part of the Tower Protocol audio drama series that we've created. Thanks to, of course, Dr. Chris McAuley. It's an XG3 production. It's like a novella backstory to one of the main characters of the Tower Protocol world. Mr. White, Colonel White.
Colonel White.
It's Captain White, and it's you'll find the link. Actually, it's on IFB. It's of course on our other social media, Tower Protocol Resurrection. It's on our XG3 page, and it's on our Yahoo page under XG3. So I mean, YouTube. YouTube's that's where the Y's. Anyway, so if you guys, it's 7.5 minutes, really well done. Jeff Kirkland portrays White. which he started in 2004 with the first release of the original Tower Protocol, and then we updated it. We didn't update it. We actually brought the character back and stepped into his world in the Tower Protocol Resurrection, which is another short film that takes place 20 years after the first one. It is in the festival circuit, and we're waiting to hear from the festivals. That'll be later it'll be at the end of the summer. We'll start getting feedback. We expect to have world premieres in October, and then we'll share all that with you guys. But in the meantime, we decided that we were going to put out some audio dramas to kind of fill in backstory on who these characters are and the world that they're in, and do the whole world building. And this is the first of 3. We're very proud of it, and it's superbly written and superbly acted. So Doc, this is your writing. What tell us what you think of these characters now.
Well, this is it's always interesting because you created this universe, Pete, and I tried to get into the heads of the characters of these 3 audios. So this is an origin story. So there's 2 of them that are origin stories, and there's one that takes place between the original film and Resurrection. So there's and we're going to build up the universe through these audios. Now these audios, by the way, are completely free. This is our commitment to you guys. Yeah. So if you genuinely like it, please give us a like, share all the links out, because we really want to get the word out about the Tower Protocol franchise, because we've big plans for it, and we want to bring you more military sci-fi horror stuff. But yeah, it's been fascinating to get into the head of Colonel White and talk to Jeff about the character as well, where he sees the character and what he sees the character about. We had a brief call, I think, about a month ago now.
Yep.
This. But yeah, it's set during the first Iraq conflict. There's lots of action in it. Captain White fucks some things up. Really, there's balls to the walls of action, but then he discovers something, and it's a strange discovery out in the deserts, which will lead into why the Tower Protocol was created, the threat to mankind. Lots of action and adventure to come.
So while the editing team is working on the Stranded Warrior and finishing up some of the special effects and all of that great stuff, the CG that goes into that, the other flip side of what we've been doing now is working on the Tower Protocol. So we're working multiple levels, multiple projects at the same time. Just a quick synopsis of the Shadows of the Desert. It's haunted by what he witnessed during Operation Desert Storm, Captain Jonathan White uncovers a supernatural war buried beneath the sands. Now marked by ancient forces, he's recruited into a covert agency to face horrors no soldier has ever trained to fight.
Did I write that?
Yes, you did.
God, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. So that's why it's part of the press kit. But that's
right, okay.
The point, right?
Press kit. That reminds me. I have to do something for that.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
But yeah, guys, give it a like, give it a shot. It's 7.5 minutes. It's really cool. It's our first audio drama. We're very proud of it. We did some really, really good work on that. Also, want to thank Ryan M. Hall, who's our sound engineer, co-producer, also on Shadows of the Desert.
That's really good work.
Oh yeah,
and listen to it. Like it's actually worth listening to a couple of times. So listen to it for the first time for the story, and then the second time for the sound effects and atmosphere. I don't know if Ryan's here or if he's listening, but essentially I have been getting so many positive comments about the sound design. and sound engineering of this
Oh, yeah.
this audio from publishers of
Cool.
award-winning audio dramas. They have said that this is something else. So, you know, well done, Ryan, and thank you for working on this with us.
Absolutely. So yeah, so guys, you know, we are putting stuff out for you guys to enjoy. I'm gonna put this up. Anyone going to Chiller Theater in New Jersey next weekend to see Kent McCord?
Ooh,
So
I would love to. You talk
So-
Adam 12, baby. That's awesome. That was one of my shows I grew up with.
it's next weekend. I mean, I don't know. Did I blink and miss this? So Eric, it's next weekend, man. Holy macaroni. I think we're actually, so we may have to split up, and I don't know if we're going to be able to do this, but I don't know where John 1 is, but the Trek Long Island is coming up.
Yep.
And so I don't know if it's happening at the same time. So we may have to split up, and maybe John will go and he'll speak with John Peel. And then I may end up, I don't know, maybe I'll go to Chiller. We'll see. I don't know yet, but oh man.
If John wants going to see John, get a copy of, John might have it, he might be selling it, a copy of Dracula's Bedlam that I wrote with John.
Okay.
Because he'd sign it.
That'd be great.
There's a couple of things I've done with John. So yeah, and if you can get that signed by John, that'll be collector stuff soon.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. This would be really, really cool. So Eric, obviously it sounds like you're going to be going to Chiller. I've been to Chiller twice now. Phenomenal. Last time I went, I met Barbara Bain from, Mission Impossible and Space 1999 and other projects and stuff. Really nice. I got an autograph from her. It was really, really cool. I had a great time. It's a smallish convention. It's packed. They really, it's like going to an old time, sci-fi / horror convention with a lot. They definitely focus more towards, the older TV and, some of the older movies that are out there. Last time they had a lot of 80s, believe it or not, 80s film stars, which was phenomenal. I mean, like, you don't see them going to a lot of other shows. So Chiller is definitely something that appeals. Tipsy, we've talked a lot about this, going to a lot of cons. Man, if you go to this con, you're going to be like, holy mackerel, this is who's here. And you're going to know. You'll know everybody.
Finally go to a con where we recognize most of the guests.
Yeah, we'll know we'll know pretty much all of the guests.
Unlike some of the other cons we go to.
I got invited to a convention in 2 weeks' time, and I didn't know who the hell these people were. It was all like anime. Like, this is my own fault because I don't know a lot of anime.
Right. I mean,
my anime stuff is like Vampire Hunter D, Akira, Ghost in the Shell, all of that kind of cyberpunk stuff, right? The new stuff, I have absolutely Chainsaw Headman, all that stuff.
Yeah,
I have absolutely no blood.
Chainsaw Headman and that girl with the thing in her mouth.
Yeah. That's
really kind of sadistic.
It's all bullshit now. But it's
all Sailor Moon to me, man.
Yeah. I know the whole thing for me is I have always loved anime when it's been that sort of hard-edged horror, all of that stuff. Great, brilliant. But it's not for me. Like, there's very little for me now. But yeah, I get invited to this convention, and I'm always looking for, like, is there anybody from the A-Team? Is there anybody from Star Trek? Right? No. It's all these like actors I don't know. And sometimes I have to call Claudia up because she's in the voice acting business now with Blood of Zeus and all that. And I'm like, who's this person? And she's like, straight away she knows who they are. I've worked with them. They're doing this, they're doing that. And I went, okay. And she's like, yeah, that's just going to go over your head. But I would love to meet Dirk Benedict. I would love to meet like Mr. T. I'd love to meet Dwight Schultz. I'd love to meet those guys. I'd love to meet David Hasselhoff and swap burger recipes, maybe not. But things like that would be quite cool. I did know the lady who played the original Diana in V. She was
Now you're
she
talking.
was
It's one of my favorite shows.
she
Uh-oh.
was lovely, really lovely lady. And shouldn't forget her name. I've forgotten her name now. But we used to be in contact and chat quite regularly about things.
That's something that needs to be remade again. That's all there was to it.
The problem is there's like remakes have a lifespan.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we all have fond memories of the original. I think the original V was brilliant. I think the remake was pretty good, but then they cancelled it for no good reason. And
the remake was really good. Yeah,
it was very good. And they just got to that point where you had the original Diana and then sort of the daughter, and it was like, what's going on here? Is
that was great.
A third column? Is it going to be right? And V is extremely political. It's extremely political, and it is all an allegory. And I think great sci-fi is all about allegory of dangers politically. But I think the problem is we have all these great memories of these shows. If they remake it again, and the current state of TV in Hollywood, lads, they'll wreck it. I had this conversation with Pete.
Yep.
And we were going, well, wouldn't it be great to have Battlestar Galactica back again?
Yep.
On my Facebook wall, I wrote a quite horrific hard-edged story about Starbuck and how I would reimagine Battlestar Galactica. And it isn't quite like the 1970s show. It's not quite like the 2000s show. It would be a mix, a meld of it, right? So, and that would be sort of like science fiction horror, because the Cylons are essentially a reflection of where our society could be and could become, what it could become. But should it come back? I think it would be hard to better the 70s show. I think it would be hard to actually best the early 2000s show because it still has a form of relevance. Right. So if you bring it back, how do you bring it back? How do you make it relevant?
How do you bring it back?
Different.
I think there was a great fan fiction written that was a crossover between Battlestar Galactica and V, whereas the original Cylons were the V.
That's cool.
I wrote something about that too. I remember it because it was very much. I get it because the Imperious leader was basically a reptile.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was that reptilian race. It's the whole thing about being cast out. So in my mind, Ibley was. I think I wrote this, and it's somewhere in IFB anyway. It was an IFB thing, and I wrote this thing basically that Ibley, when he was cast out, he came to the serpents.
Yeah.
And the serpents became his race.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So again, it's that whole thing what Glenn Larson had about the garden and about being cast out of heaven and going to the garden and who the serpent was. Because interestingly enough, in the Bible, the serpent walks with 2 feet and is actually quite reptilian in nature until he's cursed, and then he has to slither
on his belly.
Along the belly.
Yeah. And then they have to blind Adam and Eve to the real truth.
Well, see, here's actually part of the text that gets missing. That Eve had sex with the serpent. There's part of the text that is missing that does state that. That's actually the real sin, that there was a level of that happened. And, so if you could imagine with that sort of mythology, how you could remake Battlestar Galactica and make it quite transgressive. It possibly could be done. But the problem is that the 70s version was great because it was full of hope, right?
Yes.
There was that hope, right? The 2000 version was pretty good because it was political. There was all sorts of things going on. There was a lot of, up to the last season, I didn't like the last season, but up to the last season, there was all these betrayals going on. There was all these things going on. Man, machine, all that kind of stuff. Very, very powerful stuff. So I don't know. We would have to probably wait another 5 years to get to that cycle again of the zeitgeist before we would need to get something out.
Yes.
Pete and I talked about an animated show, like
Right.
an animated one-off. If the fans got behind it and Universal actually did something with the license, and they did that with Funko Fusion. Like Funko
Yes, they
Fusion's
did.
a great game,
Which
and
is cool.
they've
I love it.
recognized that there's something there with the fandom.
Yeah.
Everything we're doing now, Stranded Warrior, sister shows that are out there that are promoting Battlestar, everything that everybody's doing every time that, you know, Commander Kane posts a meme up or whatever. And, you know, we're all trying to keep this fandom alive because possibly something will happen.
Yeah.
Right.
The problem I have is who's it going to be entrusted to? Are the people who really know about
That's
the
the
franchise
problem.
feel it?
Yeah.
Because
Or
every
will they
time
be
people
fans?
go,
Yeah.
well, that's it. They just want to use the fandom. And that to me is very bloody disingenuous.
Correct.
And, you know, you've got to have people who care about the heart of it, but still recognize that we need something fresh. We need something new. We need something fresh, but something that appeals to everybody. And that can be very difficult. But I do believe that it's a mixture of, there has to be a mixture of darkness. There has to be a mixture of light. There has to be a theological twist within it.
Definitely.
Right.
Because
That's part of the
that's
original.
core.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
core. So, you know, who knows? Maybe XG3 will pitch some sort of audio drama thing to Universal, and Universal might come and say, "Hey, we'll do audios."
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
Anything's possible. Plus, we have another project that we're you know that's out there as well that we're trying to see if we can make happen.
Is this the recent one? A
Yeah.
couple of days ago. Right, okay. Yeah.
You know, the one that we've been working with the publisher you brought us.
Oh, the book.
Yeah, the book.
The book, right? Yeah, we could talk about that probably in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But we've started this very recent project. We'll see how that goes. I think we've been very cryptic with people here.
Yes.
But there's always things that we're doing to try and create sci-fi, horror. We're trying to bring as much content as we can to everybody watching this. You know, and sometimes it's not easy.
No, it's not. It's and there are gatekeepers, but we're trying our best, and we've gotten around them. A lot of it with your help, and we're look, guys, we've been we're fans like you. We're here because we happen to be big Battlestar Galactica 1978 fans. We've said this time and time again. If it wasn't for Battlestar, this show wouldn't exist. Right. Tipsy and I wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't have become best of friends. We wouldn't have met Doc. We wouldn't have met you. We wouldn't be doing this. This is all because of Battlestar Galactica, right? So there's other shows that we love, whether it be Star Wars or Star Trek and all the other ones. And they've done tremendous things for a lot of people, including ourselves. But Galactica is the one that has brought us and our community together. So,
I hadn't watched it until last year.
Right.
When I came on the show, I came on the show about a year and a bit ago now.
A year and a bit. It's been, yeah.
And then I started watching.
Happy anniversary.
Yay! I ended up getting the DVDs and watching the DVDs.
Yeah.
And I've watched the original series twice now. I've written some fan fiction stuff for it. We've done the Battlestar quiz book together. We've all done that together, which is great with Lorette. I've worked with Jack now. We did that special one-off audio with Jack, which was amazing.
Jack will be coming back on the show here shortly too, by the way.
Yeah, it's all this stuff that we've done. I've written a couple of shorts for like Facebook for Professor Patton, and I actually need to send some stuff away.
Yep.
But it's to him again. But it's it's an amazing series. It's an amazing. I would love to bring it back in comics again. I'd love to.
Oh wow! Yeah, that. Definitely.
I think that the comics were really good. I think the Dynamite comic stuff were really good.
Yeah,
I actually like Rob Liefeld's work.
Yeah, we reviewed every one of those.
Yeah.
Every one of those. Yeah.
The comic books have done well enough that they've brought them back on. Every
numerous occasions.
Brought them back.
So Death of Apollo, Starbuck. That was the Battlestar Galactica, and then there was the what was the one that Liefeld did with the Destruction, something Destruction.
Yeah, but there was
We did,
also,
yeah.
and then we had the Chris Scalf series, but we had J.J. Miller. He did one, right? That was the last one that he did, and that was a good one too. And it did very well.
Chris's artwork's absolutely incredible as well.
It is.
Oh yeah,
it is.
You know,
and we love
I mean,
it.
this is the whole thing with comics, as we sort of saw that one eye, right, of Ed Doyle's.
Yeah.
It's art that really captures people. I mean, look, I love writing
original
comics.
story. Yeah.
I love writing comics, and the way I do it is I just say to the artists, you know, I'm giving you a bit of a framework, and I pick artists specifically for various jobs, and they'll go away and they'll do the job without me having to say, you know, do this or do that, or they know how to, they know they're treated, and it's very much a collaboration. But this has got me thinking about something. So if there was the will behind it, we could do a small Battlestar Galactica comic.
Stranded Warrior comic.
Well, it would be we could do it under the Stranded Warrior comic. You know, anybody who wants to see,
We could do a photo story.
we could do a photo story.
We have the video and the pictures.
So if anybody's watching this and, like, you know, you guys want to see this kind of stuff, more and more of this stuff, let us know. It's really important because we want an audience for this.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of time and effort that each of us are putting in. And like to sit and saying this, and I'm sitting with you, Tipsy. I know slightly how difficult, because I'm learning Houdini and Nuke and After Effects. I know how difficult those pyro effects are. I know what that's like. So
But it's so rewarding.
It's great.
When you see it pulled off, you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend 2 hours to make 2 seconds, but it's still like, wow.
It's there. I'm doing VFX for a film at the minute, and it was it's basically the gun stuff, but you know, it's then using After Effects to create a light effect in the face and then a light effect in the, you know, it's all those things. A lot of people don't realize that whenever you're going into that level. So, you know, I keep my mouth shut in our Facebook chat when I'm watching the VFX stuff, because I'm not an expert in it, but I do understand the time that it takes and the patience and the frustration at times that happens. So I just want to say thank you for everything. Well, I want to say thank you for everything you're doing, because I know that whenever the fans see this later in the year, they'll love it.
Oh, absolutely, they will.
And that's what you're bringing to this project and more.
Thank you. I enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy it. I want to see, you know, we don't make any money off of it, but we enjoy the fandom seeing what could be, what possibly different stories. I mean, there's a lot of people who go out and write. There's nothing wrong with that. We love it. Write those things. But we do lack, I believe, in the fandom for Battlestar Galactica, a fan film group. Or, you know, how many fan films are there for Star Wars? How many fan films are Star Trek?
Oh,
we lack that. We also lack the artwork piece, or the short story pieces are there, but it's good to have something visual.
Yes.
And I think another thing it lacks is the comics. I believe you're totally right in regards to, wouldn't it be great to see it come back in comics? And we did talk to somebody recently who just did an animated movie, and we talked about how difficult it was. It was harder to sell an animated movie to Hollywood than it is to sell a live action movie.
I have firsthand experience of that.
Yeah. So
I've signed one of my franchises has gone to animation, and I'm not allowed to talk about it, but it's a sci-fi franchise. You see, trying to sell sci-fi now in Hollywood, it's really hard.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll come back around. It's going to take 5 years, but it'll come back around.
But here's the problem: Hollywood is making sci-fi that isn't sci-fi.
Right.
It's fantasy. Waste of time.
it's fantasy, and like you've got something. Well, you've got something like the three body problem, which is not sci-fi
No,
in any way, shape, or form. I miss the space operas. I miss all of that stuff.
Yep.
Like one of my favorite writers is that chap Dalziel, and you get
Dalziel.
his,
Oh my gosh, I
you
love
get his
Dalziel.
stuff, the Black Fleet stuff.
Yep.
Brilliant
I
stuff,
love the Black
right?
Fleet. It's fantastic.
Great stuff. And then if you go on Audible and you listen to that, and then you get real visuals in your head what he's doing.
Yep.
There's another book. There's another book I'll actually recommend as well for anybody who likes sci-fi. Cyborg. There's two: Cyborg and Armor. Armor's quite an old.
Oh, Armor. Yes, I read that.
I think I've read Armor or listened to Armor. I should say. I haven't read.
But I don't
read shit.
It's pretty old school, right?
Yeah. I read it when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's damn good. But all of this stuff,
that's Triscalzi in the Forever War, where when you turn your late 60s, you get drafted into the military and become a soldier by giving up your soul, and it gets put into a suit of armor.
It's Warhammer there. That's
yes,
Warhammer.
that's exactly it.
Warhammer.
That's Warhammer.
Yeah.
Yep. Even in Death I Serve.
That's right.
Yep.
Right. So
right.
And Warhammer's got a massive. When you talk about like dark military sci-fi,
yeah.
Their
universe is really
once
dark.
Cavils. I can't wait for Cavils thing to come out. As long as Amazon don't fuck too much with it, it'll be very, very good.
Yep.
I'm a big fan of Warhammer. I've written. I have a couple of Warhammer short stories coming out this year, and I'm a big fan of Warhammer. I play Space Marine 2 quite a lot. I love all of that stuff. There isn't any light in Warhammer, however. So it is that grim, dark sort of sci-fi, which
it's the 2004 Battlestar Galactica version.
Yeah, but 2004 still had a lot of light in it. I think it was there was stuff in there. There was a lot of hope. In there. There was the intrigue, but there was hope. Warhammer, there's nothing. Like there's no good guys. There's no good guys in Warhammer. Like even the humans are bastards. Like there's not one race in Warhammer that's actually good. None of them. But that's what gives it its flavor.
Oh, Warhammer's cool.
But I do like that. But anyway,
I just painted my first Warhammer figurine and first figurine at AwesomeCon, so I'll have to send a picture of that one.
I have yet to do that. I have. I wasn't allowed. My wife will not allow me to buy Warhammer. Right? Our bank balance will not allow me to have Warhammer. But I got this years ago, decades ago, in 1989, there was a game called Hero Quest, which was brought out by Games Workshop, and it was Warhammer Fantasy Light. It was brought out again in 2023, and I have the 2023 version. I bought it, and I might start painting up some of the figures.
Look at that.
Well, guys, on that note, I will be bringing up next time we're going to see your figure that you painted, Tipsy Toaster.
All right.
Because we didn't get a chance to bring that up. We got a message from one of our really good supporters in our IFB community. Jim Klubna says he has a Series 2 BSG card set. He might be one of. He says he's got the set. So come on, Jim. If you actually have one of those, I don't know. There's only a couple of those sets. If you're the one that picked that up off of eBay or Topps, wherever you have that, you got to share that with us, man. And if you want to come on, we'll bring you on too. Because remember, we got the guy from Canada that's got the set, and you may have the only other set that exists. So James, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys. Don't forget to hit that like. We are always humbled by the thousands of you that watch this in syndication and rerun. Thank you to our guest, Charles Stewart, for coming on. John 1, Dr. McAuley, thank you for taking your time out as well. And everybody here, we love you guys. Thank you so much.
You're amazing.
And we'll see you next week. on, of course, Thursday. So watch for those. We try to get the post out, but unless we tell you otherwise, you should expect that on Thursdays we will be
Always.
on. And here's to you guys.
Yep.
All right, all the
Slideshow.
best.
Yep. Thanks for the fleet.